Welcome to episode 2 of the Postmodern Rom-Com. This is a short and sweet reminder that after today's reading, there's going to be a rom-com rewriting party, which can be accessed in the description below via a very exciting and incredibly sexy Google Docs link. But for the moment, enjoy the next few minutes of your lives. Write again. Touch my life, my regrets. I am just afraid. Your husband and best friend must be obeyed. Remember, inside the lamp. Read and reread. Through her tears, she looked out to sea. The sea breathed in and out with gentle sighing, as though the sound of his breathing would go so weak and so quiet. She didn't want to feel relief. Relief was gone, and the days were a blur to her now. A glimpse of the future, the noise of screaming children squashed between bank managers and insurance companies. The rest of the world left with trembling hands. "Are you okay?" hysterically, suddenly forgetting the kitchen table, rambling, "Stop. I cannot understand." The phone sat in silence and stared at the wall, lost. God sat looking at his terminally ill friend, all alone. "Wow," he repeated. The mastermind quietly questioned silence. The lamp wouldn't live with this month's treasure. Bed knobs and girls beautifully carved the cream together. The bedside lamp ended their nightly arguments. It had become a routine that made them feel closer. While fumbling in the dark, she realized her phone was ringing. A familiar fright stepped out of the shower. He didn't. No hugs for Daddy. What? Oh. I'm alive? All my teeth flying at the funeral. Did you not consider donating her voice? I'm sorry. Flying will be there in body, but a great relationship was always getting up to mischief. A kettle of fish from the planet One had tattoos and piercings for every eternal old man. Obedience had one friend, anti-happiness. As though the worst people clash at the most inappropriate times. The house was an overgrown orgasm, yet to perform. In his hand, boys formed inseparable friends. The tiny feet followed a voice. "Daddy, I hurt myself, contemplating living." A surprisingly colourful man sat looking like a kiss, sounding worryingly satisfied. "Please, I'm just dying in disgust." The couch, throwing pieces of head, mouthed, "Help. I tried to tell you. Help me. Stop stupidity. Darling, I am extremely stressful. Aren't I the luckiest woman in the world?" Irish playtime joins the mischief. An argument will be ready in a few minutes. She burst, followed by a loud crack. Her position was the best one for the job. Thank you very much. I'd now like to invite you all to make the transition from the humble YouTube window to the incredibly exciting Google Documents form we've got in the comments. So if you'd like to take just a few moments to recollect yourselves and find yourselves in that document, it's lilac, the colour of sunsets and Parma violets and all those nice things. I'm going to collect myself too, and then we're going to start something like a party in a Google document form. It does involve a bit of unplugging, a bit of things going dark and silent for a minute, and that's okay. A bit of seeing what's happening behind the scenes, where I film these humble videos. Okay. We'd like to take a few minutes to find ourselves in a Google Documents form. Yellow, not yellow, lilac. It's a bit trippy. And I'm just going to go through a few sort of guidelines and what we're going to be doing here. What's all this then? Okay. We are going to collectively rewrite P.S. I Love You. For those of you that don't know what P.S. I Love You is, it's a book written by Cecilia Ahern in 2004, and it's set in Ireland. And it's about a woman whose husband dies and then like sort of tells her what to do beyond the grave. It's all about living and loving and laughing and rediscovering yourself. It's lovely. Richard de Gravesnees then directed the film in 2007, which was set in New York City, because all good love stories are set in New York City. Don't ask me to prove that. You can work independently, you can work with others, you can be angry, hysterical, numb. You do not need to know anything about love. You do not need to know anything about P.S. I Love You. In fact, quite the opposite is sometimes encouraged. Grammar, perfection, and a notion of interestingness don't exist in this space. We are all bodies. We all have lived experience, and that is enough. There are 3 guidelines in this space, which are going to help everyone to understand what is going on here. The first one is just generally be nice, don't be a dick. Challenging viewpoints is encouraged, and I'm a potty mouth, so swear all you like. But be respectful and kind to one another here, because it is, after all about love. Try not to delete anything you've written. If you want to remove anything, you can highlight it in black. And there are 3 ways in which we're going to rewrite the text, which we can start to find below. The first one is inserting your own words wherever you like into the original passage. The second one is removing words by highlighting them in black, or you can repeat text by copying and pasting it, things like that. So, onwards. Oh! What do you know? I think I've pasted the wrong thing. Oh, I have. That's such a shame. Well, you know, lads, it's live TV and anything can happen. So, feel free to type wherever and whatever you like, pretty much wherever. If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the comments and someone will be sure to answer them. Basically, yeah, turn to one of the other pages to find a page and start reading with the text. You can kind of do whatever you like to it. There's a slot at the top that says name, where you can put a pseudonym or a pen name. You might like to think of the colour of your shirt plus the last thing you ate, or your childhood pet, and an animal or a vegetable or a mineral, or a colour and an animal or a vegetable or a mineral, something like that. Just a couple words. We're creating messiness and excess. It's something a bit like falling in love. It's something a bit like falling. Think of this space like writing a love letter to absolutely no one. That's the quite beautiful thing about being here. To really set things off, we've got a little bit of relaxing Italian music to take everyone to the shores of the Mediterranean. Maybe you've got an Aperol Spritz in your hand. Maybe you've taken a lover. Transport yourself. And generally, we can start reading with the text however you like. Like I say, you can start deleting things that don't mean anything to you. Generally, I always get started by picking one of the first couple sentences and then kind of going from there and just selecting specific words that stand out to me. And then once you've got like a really, really good adjective, you can kind of let things spiral from there. I never particularly worry too much about making any sense. You all saw the reading, and it makes a different kind of sense that kind of drifts in and out of knowingness. And you know, it's 9:15 in the evening now, and it's quite a nice time to lull yourself back into some kind of sleep, some kind of relaxation, where it doesn't matter if we're making sense. It's just nice to be writing and sharing and creating with each other. People have got some really brilliant pen names. Charcoal Dalliance is brilliant. I like that very much. Kodak Sausage is a bit cheeky. We love that. Clown Punk intervene here. I know exactly who that is. Blue Salad. Someone's writing some naughty words, but that's okay. It's okay to swear, but be nice to yourself. Be nice to yourself and be nice to everyone else. What are people writing about? Charcoal Dalliance is writing about a big blue cotton relief, sweater up to her face, in a fullness and the familiar smell. I love that. That's a great page, and I like the familiar smell. It's very atmospheric. Blue Salad's done a bit of highlighting. The end comes. You tells me it comes. Lovely, lovely. Clown Punk has got a nice little bit of stuff where he's written, he dried sense into self, would be pleased at all. It's nice, it's lovely. I think repetition is quite a powerful thing in writing. You know, if you're doing it in a nice way, it becomes quite a nice kind of rhythm, lull yourself into something. Yeah, would be pleased. He would be pleased. Someone called Black Chocolate is doing a bit of no, it's a bit cheeky, it's a bit naughty, and that's okay. They've basically, if the original line read, "Oh, sorry, love, did I wake you?" They've starred out the rest of the letters in wake after W, so it looks like something a bit naughty. Oh, they put it back! Oh, I liked it before, but that's okay. What else is happening? Someone called $the Termin $. That's quite a cryptic name, and I don't know what on earth it could mean. Has started blacking things out, introducing a bit of colour in there, which is exciting. If you want to introduce an element of colour, do it. Why not? Any kind of colour. People want to make things more colourful, more exciting, then go for it. You know, we're writing on a lilac page, which is incredibly unusual, and well, it's not that unusual, but it's nice not to write on a white page. So if people want to, make that more colourful, then go for it. That would be lovely. Lovely. Jurassic peach. Kodak sausage. Oh, this one's quite naughty. I don't know if I can read this out. It's a bit Love Island though, which I like. It's nice to have a bit of Love Island in 2020. This might be the only, well, this is the only Love Island we're going to be getting in 2020. And it's quite nice that it's happening in a Google document somewhere on the corner of the internet. Her fanny fluttered as he lowered his boxers, caught them on the tips of his toes, and flung them at Holly, where they landed on his head. It's a bit smutty. Which I like. I don't really have, I don't know, maybe I don't really have the balls to be quite so smutty on the internet. So I appreciate that someone does. Jurassic Peach. I will replace her mother's voice. I like that. In my original text, there's a lot of voices. Just because, I don't know, whenever someone's talking about a voice, that feels automatically very, very kind of visual in a way. I mean, I guess a voice isn't visual, it's more like a sound, right? But if you're talking about a voice in text, that is almost quite instructional to a reader where you're picturing a voice, and I quite like to imagine that. I work with voices quite a lot. A bit of copying and pasting happening by Chewable Vit C. A bit of something happening. A bit of sort of moving text to the other side of the page. Clown Punk's gone crazy. Every other Holly found herself sprawled comfortably across a glittering back seat in Gateshead, 1975. The couch or family member woke her up, 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 sleep like a zombie, which sounds like a kind of, that sounds like some kind of scene band that I probably would have listened to when I was 14 and trying to be edgy. So I appreciate that. What was she expecting to find? What was she expecting to find? Something glittering in a back street in 1975, perhaps. Blue salad's doing great. The doctor thought it was due to stress, but it was only because of your stress. I never knew what it was like to have my own stress. I had never been happy with that. Should I be happy? You haven't told me how. Charcoal Dalliance. I admire Charcoal Dalliance because they're doing a lot of writing of their own original thought. And that impresses me as someone who pretty much exclusively relies on blacking out. Which isn't very, that isn't really coming up with my own stuff. So that's really nice. I've read a bit of Charcoal Dalliance before, but I'll pick up where I left off. In a fullness and a familiar smell immediately struck her like a lover, an overwhelming grief thing, knotting rope, like pasta, wet and old on a shelf. There's something incredibly, visceral about the thought of, cold pasta. I used to live in a house where there was a poster of, cold noodles really, really close up on the wall. And I really loved it, but it looked a bit like guts. It looked a bit guttural and it was a bit gross. It was a poster that, split minds and divided opinion, which I admire about it. Stomachs, all there and pulling at her heart. Pins and needles, piss and open running, the back of her neck sweating and lumping. Her underfather was a lump in her throat like a man. He threatened to choke her. Panic took over. A part bottom. Brilliant, really nice. A part bottom. We love bottoms here. We love bottoms. He shouldn't have worried. He shouldn't have worried. He shouldn't have worried, since it turns out it was me that was the problem. That's quite sad. That's quite sad. When I'm doing this, I find that I find it a lot easier to slip into, maybe this is something about me, I find it a lot easier to slip into quite sad or quite disturbing passages of writing rather than just something really, really joyful. I don't know, maybe sadness is slightly easier to write about in the sense that you can be a bit descriptive with sadness, but maybe if you're being, I don't know, maybe that's a challenge. Can you be descriptive with joyfulness? Don't know. Chewable Bit C's gone crazy, changing the colours, which I like. Why did that soothing mother's concerned face, eyebrows furrowed, forehead wrinkled with worry? Oh, I see, they're highlighting all the names. That's interesting. That's interesting. My text almost exclusively, I don't know, it doesn't really work with names. Names scare me a bit. But I like this. It's drawing attention to them, but in a way that you're not really sure what to do with them, which I quite like. It's interesting. Dollar Sign Determined is doing lots of stuff with black and yellow and purple, which is amazing. Which is like sunsets, you know, it's like sitting on the beach and watching the sun go down. And there's lots of, I couldn't recognise the original text if I saw this, and that's really exciting. There it was again, underwhelming fresh air, the alleged answer to all her frustrating problems. Maybe I'll wander around later and we can have a chat. And I think they've changed the word wander to the other kind of wander, which is awesome. No thanks, Mum, I'm okay. Silence, 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 noise. Okay, another silence, another. Did she ever take care? Would she ever? Alas, another silence, silence, silence. I like that, it's a bit cryptic. It's a bit cryptic, but it's quite instructional. You know where you stand. Nice. Kodak Sausage is the naughty one. Kodak Sausage is writing just smut over here, and I support that. The enriching sounds of Bad Barbie enriched her earlobes as it transcended the vibe of their embrace. What is the vibe of an embrace? We love it. We love a vibe of an embrace. Well, get your cock out then, love. He always managed to make her laugh. Cocks are funny. When she came home, tired and angry after work, he would seemingly pretend like he considers her problems of interest. So why is this couple together? Which they don't, because Jerry considered Holly a whiny, self-involved cow. Women don't matter to Jerry. They seldom thought, oh my gosh. Oh, it's like smutty, but it's also horrible. Oh. It's like I said, this is the kind of, it's like I said, I find it a lot easier to write something quite disturbing. They seldom fought, and when they did, it was over stupid things that made them laugh afterwards, as though their relationship wasn't just a desperate escape from the unfathomable void of loneliness, the unfathomable, endless void. Oh God, make it stop. Oh God, please, I am so alone. Like, who had left the porch light on all day, or who had forgotten to set an alarm at night? Jerry finished his striptease and dived into the bed. How pedestrian! It's fucking horrible, but it's quite funny. I don't know. I shouldn't be saying that. I don't know, I don't know, yeah. Kodak Sausage is daring to go where perhaps I wouldn't, so I admire that. I do admire that. I think maybe I really like what Clown Punk is doing. Fill the hole! What? Fill the hole! What? What was she expecting? He groggily answered, a voice like a zombie. He stopped the car. Nobody stood. Air and shopping was going to fill the hole. Fill the hole! Love that. I'm watching Killing Eve at the moment, and there's this really brilliant line in the first series where she goes, "Take me to the hole!" It's great. And it's like that. Take me to the hole. Fill the hole. What? Fill it. What's Blue Salad doing? Holly flushed her ideas down the toilet. Shivering from the coldness of what was left inside her, she shakily touched her elbows and her feet. He had to have been attracted to 30 years old. She was 34. Her elbows were old, and she felt it. By no means he had been the kindest man on earth, but he had been kind enough to, well, strangers and 30-year-olds. When he was very sick with me in the world, he would safely have taken drugs, should have drunk more, should have travelled more. I really like how, like, blacking out things on a page, like, looks really, it looks really distinctive, having, like, big sort of blocks of something across the page, you know? It's an intervention to suddenly have blocked something all across the page, and it makes you wonder what's underneath. Maybe it makes you wonder more about why you've chosen to strung the things together that you've chosen. That's really nice. So there's something to admire about all of this. Charcoal Dalliance is very funny. I'm going to say maybe a couple more minutes. It's 28 minutes past 9 now, so we'll go until 9:30. So wrap things up a bit. And then there's, some more to come. Very short little wrapping up, end of the day, getting ready for bedtime activities. While we do that, I'm going to read a more from Charcoal Dalliance. Bump a secret note. Dump a secret man. Across the table at a dinner party, I wondered why I never cry at things like this. Although, is this the time I want to cry the most? Never cry. Never cry. Never cry. Cold noodles. The edgy poster which now seems normal and everyday in Camden. Him. I want to be joyful. I want to be joyful. I do want to be joyful. It's nice to be joyful. I think joyfulness and creativity are two interesting things, because I think there's such a big thing about, like, wanting to and having to suffer for art and for something to be meaningful, and I don't want to believe that's true, and I don't believe that's true. But, I guess it's a question of, like, is not sadness, but, like, is sadness productive and is joyfulness productive, and how are they both productive in different ways? Don't know. Okay, I'm gonna say, finish off what you're writing. There are some really fucking weird, naughty, there's really beautiful moments going on here, and I'm really glad that something's come out of it. It's, this has been the first 2 chapters of P.S. I Love You. A book that has, like, around about 50 chapters, maybe nearly 60. And this is just a little chunk of it that exists as this now. And I quite like the idea of some people writing this haven't ever seen P.S. I Love You before, or if ever read it, then this is the only interaction they've had with it. It's just something fucking weird that happened on the corner of an internet. You know? An internet. That's really beautiful. I really like that. So, just to finish off, maybe spend a few moments reading what you've rewritten, or reading what other people in the document have rewritten. Maybe go through with a highlighter and spend a couple minutes highlighting parts of the document that stand out to you, parts of the document that you like, maybe you're going to steal and do something else with. That's all that is, really. Highlight things you like, listen to the atmospheric Italian music, maybe think about caprese salad, basil and mozzarella, really good pizza, really good gelato, maybe it's lemon flavoured. Just as a final activity, highlighting things you like. Little moments of something we enjoy. Little moments of nice things. An overwhelming grief thing. Nice. Nice. It went fucking on. This is blue salad. Blue salad, nice. So I guess if I was to give myself a pen name, the colour of my shirt plus the last thing I ate, it would be, what is the last thing I ate? It's a quesadilla, so it'd be white quesadilla. I don't know, is that interesting? I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit, maybe it's a little bit slutty, I don't know. It went fucking on. Nice. Someone's highlighted a bit in white, like it was written in white, which is interesting because it's just deleted what was there already. But that's okay. Can't poop on nothing. Someone's just writing about poo. That's absolutely fine. That's perfectly acceptable here. Cool. Good. Jurassic Peach has just turned the whole page purple, which I love. I love purple. Purple is my favourite colour, and I feel like there's never an acceptable use for purple. Like, it's just ugly on everything. Which is, as just a colour, it's beautiful. Okay. Now we spent a few minutes looking through what we've created, looking at the mess we've made, a glorious, beautiful mess. Just to finish off, here's a little link from P.S. I Love You, just something to listen to, some final inspiring words as soon as this Squarespace advert is over. Here we are. You can hear that. This is P.S. I Love You when Holly and Jerry meet, just to finish off.
I'm lost. You did look lost. Not to me. So what are you looking for out here?
Wicklow Mountains National Park.
Wicklow Mountains National Park. Tell me, how long have you been walking for?
A few hours.
Ireland.
Well,
In Irish, you know, everyone loves an Irish accent.
National
Really.
Park. For a few hours then.
Oh my god. This is a park. It's so cold. The paper said it was going to be warm.
It is warm. I know you're lost, but you do know you're in Ireland, don't you?
Well, I better head back.
And where's that?
I'm staying in a B&B in Dunlowgahary.
Dunlowgahary.
Oh, I think you mean that. Dunleary.
You're kidding.
No. Would I lie to you?
Dunleary.
Dunleary.
Dunleary. If anyone's ever been to Dunleary that's watching this, let me know.
Grant,
I've never been. I've been to Belfast, that's why.
but you're going the wrong way, you know.
It's not green and beautiful and lush and covered in heather like Dunlowgahary is.
actually quite enjoy this getting lost, don't
You
you?
can tell that P.S. I Love You was filmed in the early 2000s because they're wearing like those like caps, those
How
like
did you come to be here?
balloon caps,
I'm
with like big red gloves.
He's starting to increase.
Jeez, that's
I don't know what we were all thinking in the early 2000s.
really studying.
Everyone was ridiculous.
Art?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're an artist then.
I don't know yet.
That's great. Do you make anything here?
I don't know yet.
Good luck with that.
That's really good moment. You an artist? I don't know yet. Do you make anything? I don't know yet. Which I think even when you're, even if you've been an artist for like a considerably, prolonged amount of time, I think that's still an acceptable answer. Don't know.
Going the same direction. I'll stay on this side of the road. Don't even have to talk. Just quite nice, sometimes walking along without talking. Once you get your feet right. Of course, we'll talk.
That was when Holly and Jerry first meet from P.S. I Love You. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous moment. Yes. Wind yourselves down. Get ready for bed. Think about the lovely moment we just shared. Think about all the chaos that's happened in this document. That's pretty much it. I'm pasting into the document at the moment some little, bedtime stories to finish everyone off. We've got, I can't copy and paste it in this document. I need a bit of practice. You'd think that would be the easy part, wouldn't you? But it ain't. Right. Now I'm copying and pasting some bedtime stories to finish you off. Such hits as The Very Hungry Caterpillar, Bagpuss, Episode 1. If you've not come into contact with Bagpuss before, you're going to love it, because Bagpuss is wild. The Flumps, Balloons Full Episode. Madonna Bedtime Story, which is a song I've listened to approximately the first 20 seconds of. It's called Bedtime Story, so just believe me when I say that it's probably alright. It's by Madonna. Someone's seen the Flumps balloons. It's great. I mean, just the intro to the Flumps is beautiful. The Flumps make me really happy. So give that a go. And then, what's that one? One of them is a link, and it didn't, one of the links didn't tell me what it was, and I've forgotten what it was. But I'm going to find it now. And it's probably something exciting.
I live too close to the city to get.
Oh, it's a P.S. I Love You audiobook. Alright. Okay, I forgot about this. I found the P.S. I Love You audiobook on YouTube, and that's the weird link that doesn't have a name, so I'm going to write that next to it. This is the P.S. I Love You. The woman who's reading it is like really, really like violently, like really strongly Irish, and it's not a very relaxing voice to listen to, but it's atmospheric and it's strong. Maybe it'll make you feel something, who knows. And the last one is ASMR bedtime stories to help you sleep. If you like that kind of thing, ASMR might be nice. I think it's stuff like The Rainbow Fish and, I don't know, other such hits as nice things. Yeah, I don't know, whenever I'm feeling a bit stressed, I always listen to some children's books. So to play us out, I'm gonna put on the Flumps Balloons Full Episode just to play us out as we think about what's just happened, what we've just done. Right. Okay. Good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evenings and Friday and the weekend. I'm wishing everyone sun and happiness and love, as always.
A red and a yellow balloon
Good night.
were floating above the Flumps wall.
Good night. Goodbye.